Kevin in Tampa, Florida said, do you think there's an underrated state in college football that's on the rise, coming on strong? I do. It's ironic that Kevin asked me this because I was talking to someone about this 2 nights ago. I do have one. And I'm giving you guys time. Are you guessing? Like state, a state, not just a program. Think of a state. In this case, that state's probably going to have more than one program in it. I think there's a slam dunk most underrated state in college football. Kansas is the most underrated state in college football. Do you realize what Kansas State has been doing for a long time? But do you realize what Kansas is doing now? Both of them have head coaches that we power rate inside the top 15 in America. Did you hear what I said there? And for those of you who are older, now think about the impact of that statement. Maybe if you're 15 years old, you don't know any better. Well, let me educate you. Kansas is supposed to suck in football. Kansas State is supposed to look at posters of Bill Snyder and talk about what once was. They're not supposed to both be this good. History says, but they are. So Kansas State's over-under win total this year is 9.5. Kansas is 8.5. Both of them led by top 20 coaches, top 15 to me. They're both in demand. Kansas State has 8+ wins 10 of the last 13 years. And some of that's Bill Snyder. Hey man, a lot more that's Chris Kleiman as of late. They just opened some new facilities there, and this is where I want you to really pay attention, because the underrated part's not just about where they are now, it's about where they could be headed moving forward. They are taking things very seriously at both of these places. I've been there, as many of you haven't, so you may not have seen what I'm talking about. Kansas State's got a beautiful new indoor, frankly, that rivals or surpasses a lot of the places in the Big Ten and the SEC that I've seen. That takes money, it takes investment, it takes a lot of people signing off on it. The football team's already winning. So they're already there on that front. But in Lawrence, down the road, they are doing $400 million worth of renovations. $400 million in this economy? In any economy. Yeah, that is a signal to the entire world that they're taking football as seriously as anyone does. You've just never felt that. You've never felt that out of Kansas. Not only is Leipold one of the best coaches in America, not only are they a legitimate conference championship contender this year, they are signifying to America for years to come, we are investing to be a program that's at the head table or a program that's a contender. In other words, this isn't going to be a period that you look back on in 2030 and say, remember when? Remember when Kansas was a nice little story for a little while? And you know what I wonder? And I don't want to take a knock at the conference that I just deemed America's College Football Conference, but everyone's talking about conference realignment, and everyone's talking about where Florida State could go, or Clemson could go, or North Carolina could go. Hey, I wouldn't just look over Kansas. I wouldn't just completely overlook what they're doing in Lawrence. And that's multiple sports, but I'm talking about football. I'm not talking about what they were. I'm talking about what they are and what they could and probably will be down the road. You do not inject $400 million, mid-9 figures, into your athletics to just stand pat. You don't do that. So for everyone talking about conference realignment and you know the flashy object over here, don't forget to look over there as well.